Shalom, shalom, shalom to the 12 tribes of Yasharal scattered worldwide. We're not lost, we're scattered, and hey to the Gentiles that are following after Yah's righteousness. I am back, yes, with another video. So, you guys know, if you follow this channel, I give modesty from the Afro-Asiatic perspective, the Yasharalite perspective. So you guys know I keep it kind of like in my culture. Like when I talk up here, I'm talking about history and things that gear toward modesty lifestyle from my culture, right? So I just wanted to talk about in this video what virtuous women are attracted to. Because there's a lot of misconception that they don't exist anymore. Like, I mean, and I'm hearing a lot of this foolishness come from a lot of Yasharalite men. And I always, listen, this is, when I say this, there are Yasharalite men that are on point, and there are Yasharalite men that are absolutely cocoa for Cocoa Puffs, okay? You got to be able to navigate the difference, and that's why you have to read the word to show yourself approved, okay? Study to show yourself approved, and obviously you have to have your relationship with Abba Yah, because Abba Yah, excuse me, I got a tongue twisted there. Abba Yah will help you navigate so that you avoid the wrong types of people. So we're gonna do like a separate video on how to avoid the wrong type of Yasharalite man, like especially like, because there will be some that try to pursue, you know, women for marriage and the rest of that stuff. So what things that you want to, red flags that you want to avoid, okay? Some things that are normal requests, some things that are not normal requests. We're going to be talking about all of that. In today's video, this is like about what attracts a virtuous woman to a man. Like, what are some things that are going to be like, that's attractive, right? Like, what are some things us as women that are virtuous are going to be looking for in a man? Because we hear all the time, like I said, Yasharalite men sitting up there asking about what they want, and not all of them, like, you know, are bad. Like I said, some of them are really good people, but you literally have, like I said, Yasharalite men, you know, preaching that there is no good women, trying to say that all women are concubines, trying to also just deter men from marriage. And it's like any Yasharalite man that is getting into that red pill ideology is demonic. You might as well just back yourself out of there. And the same that I talk about with the women's sphere, like any woman that is trying to guide you off of the path of what Abba Yah has set you on, and you know the parameters because they're in the Torah. So any man or woman that is trying to guide you off to any of those things, you know that they're trying to get you off track with the Most High, okay? So obviously, we got to be fruitful and multiply. So that means that you have to get married, and that means that in order for you to have a blessed marriage, you have to abstain from things like fornication and all the rest of that stuff. Any man that is trying to tell you get concubines and the rest of this stuff, when the word is like you're not supposed to prostitute, all of that, you know that is double speak. It's double speak. The same with women. If they're trying to tell you, you know, get into stuff where you're putting offering sacrifices to Molech and putting you know, offering your youth in certain ways, right? They're teaching you to live promiscuously and not abstain from, you know, certain activities, and they're not teaching you these things, and you know that they're on the road to devilishment, okay? Like I said, that red pill stuff, a lot of that stuff is trying to lead men into being with other men. And a lot of that woman stuff is trying to lead women to be in a sisterhood where they're all together and there is no men. So that means that it's that Greek ideology, if that makes any sense to y'all. So like I said, in this video, we're going to be talking about, because like I said, we hear a lot of times about what men want and the rest of this stuff, and the Yasha Relate men, you know, they oh gosh, some of them come off overbearing. It's crazy. We hear a lot of times what they want and the rest of this stuff, and a lot of times it's coming from like a vain perspective. Now I am it is refreshing to me when I see some of our brothers talk about modesty and things like that from a true like man perspective, and you know it's true because when they're able to kind of be balanced and not biased in their talking points. So the reason why I had to put this disclaimer out, because like I said, they're creating these rumors that there's no virtuous women, because like I said, a lot of the red pill ideology that they're picking up, that they're just trying to put a Hebrew Israelite perspective on, they're rewrapping it and trying to put the Torah perspective on it, and it has no business in our culture. That's not our culture. You're picking up Greek patriarchal type of things, and it's totally different from being a Yasharelite, okay? Yah very much did care about, and still does, let me correct that, cares about the man, the woman, and the children, okay? We all have our different roles, and we all have to respect those roles, and he's not caring about one more than the other. Men is his child just like woman is his child, and the things that we've seen the Most High do about protecting his daughters is something serious, okay? So he protects his children. People just have to keep that in mind. So let's talk about some of the things that virtuous women want, okay? When they are looking for a husband, right? Well, they're not looking, but when men are presenting themselves to them, right? Because it says, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor from Abaya, right? So the first thing that a man needs to understand is that a virtuous woman is going to add value to you. Abaya there's certain things that only Abaya can teach a woman, right? She has to have a relationship with Abaya, and there's certain things that he downloads into his daughters. Certain things, like he may speak to his daughters concerning things that you need to help you, hence the term helpmate, right? So what she's going to be looking for, she's going to be looking for a man who also has a commitment to Abaya, who has made a commitment, who Abaya, she can see the vision and the purpose that Abaya has put into the man, because the man is on that track. He's not getting sidetracked. He's not getting distracted. He's very much on his job. He is on his mission, right? He's on his mission to do the will of the Most High and kingdom business. And I'm not talking about vain type of stuff, because there's some men who have called themselves to certain type of ministry and the Most High never called them to do that, right? And then what they do is, because they want vain glory in a narcissistic way, like maybe like it's like a lot of people that they call themselves to preach, but Abaya never called them to preach. But it's just because they want reverence from people. They wanted people to know their name. They want esteem from a narcissistic perspective. This is why, you know, we have a lot of, you know, wolves in sheep's clothing. So you got to be mindful, ladies, of that. You know, like I said, that'll be in the video of what to look out for. But also, virtuous women are looking for men when they come to them in proposal of courtship and marriage. I want to put that out there. Like, we waiting like Ruth for Boaz. You know, you on your job, because that's what Ruth was doing. Ruth was working on herself, building, and then Boaz was able to see her and wanted to add her to what he had going on already. You know what I'm saying? So women are supposed to be a complement to the righteous man. The virtuous woman is that complement to him. So women are also going to want to know that men practice humility, They practice modesty as well. If a virtuous woman, she's going to practice modesty. She's also going to practice humility, right? So we cannot be asking our women to not be prideful and to not walk around haughty, and then as men be walking around overbearing and haughty, like, and arrogant. You know what I'm saying? So pride was that one sin, as you can see, that resembles Hasatan, that got him ejected out of heaven, right? So there's a lot of men who they kind of focus in on women who, because a lot of times women replicate pride outwardly, as far as, like I said, in attire and things like that, because the daughters of Zion have followed different ways of Babylon. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy that people just try to label America as Babylon, as if the ideology of America has not touched the shores. It's not even of America, of Babylon, hasn't touched the shores of other places. Like, before America even existed, Babylon existed, okay? So the concepts weren't just here. Like, it's ancient, right? Nothing is new under the sun. So I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, a lot of men, like I said, they point out pride as far as like women, but they often walk around like, with their chest all big and beating their chest. I'm a man, and all of this stupid stuff they get into. I hate that. Like, real righteous men, you could feel their presence and their, the energy, because of how they carry themselves. It's the same with a righteous and virtuous woman. Like, her presence is felt. Like, you could feel like, okay, you watch the man for a while, you feel like, okay, he's very confident, but he's not arrogant. He has himself together. He's very much on his purpose. He doesn't get into distraction. He is, focused on the things of Yah. And you can feel that. Like, Abba Yah will have you feel that modest innocence that's there, right? It's like, not to say that the man has never made mistakes, but when he does make mistakes, he's humble enough to, as a man, to say, I could have done that a little differently, or I feel like in this moment this was wrong, and I feel like I need to rethink how I did that. You know what I'm saying? Even with a woman that is practicing humility is able to be in her womanhood of saying, I don't like how I treated you today, or I don't like how I acted a moment ago. You know what I'm saying? It's something that when women ascend to womanhood, or men ascend to manhood, they're able to practice. So humility is like not walking around pompous. It's not walking around arrogant. It's not walking around vain and haughty, right? Virtuous women also are not, speaking of haughtiness, they're not looking for men who practice vanity, men who constantly talk about material possessions, worldly possessions, men who are pretending to have status. Virtuous women are not looking for those things. Those things are vain. They don't profit your soul. They don't profit you, right? Ultimately, you want, as a virtuous woman, the husband that Abba Yah sends to you, because Abba Yah is the matchmaker. He is the matchmaker, okay? A lot of times we have in our heads as women, like, what we want, and women, we have to kind of think like about some of these things. Abba Yah gives you the desires of your heart. So he gives you what you want, what you should want. Not what you want, but what you should want. What he wants for you is what he's going to give you. Because a lot of people, and I remember this from being in a Christian church. When I was a Christian, I'm no longer a Christian. People think that Abba Yah is like this magic genie, where he's just up there, like anything that you ask for, he's about to give it to you. And that's not how that works, right? A lot of people think blessings are like material, and they're not material. They're not, a lot of blessings are not material. It's like Yah gives you things that put you on track to what his will is for you. That's giving you an expected end, right? Things that are going to be good for you, not necessarily what you think would be good for you, because a lot of times, a lot of stuff that we want, because the heart is wickedly deceitful, we're thinking that that's good, when really Abba Yah knows that if he was to get, if we were to, not if he was to give us certain stuff, but he knows that if we were to get certain stuff, it would mess us up. It's kind of like as a parent, right? You know what your child can handle and what your child is going to be up through there with, right? Like, you know, like, okay, I'm not going to give them a whole thing of sugar, because even though they want that, their flesh wants that. I know I'm not trying to be up all night with you running through every room of the house instead of going to bed. And also, we know that that's, you know, a bunch of sugar is not good health-wise for the children. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, virtuous women, they're not looking for a bunch of material possessions, and they're not looking at fiat currency like that is what makes a man. But it's like, let me not get it twisted, right? Wealth is not just fiat currency. It is a spiritual aspect that a man has to have, right? In Christianity, you know, they constantly beat this thing, like, I don't believe in the prosperity doctrine and all of that stuff that they do, because I believe they're trying to get money out of folks. I'm not talking about fiat currency and worldly type of things when I talk about wealth. But our ancestors come from wealth, right? In Christianity, they always kind of made it like taboo, because we do have a lot of in the world, a lot of scam artists that say give your tithes, and because they want to ride around in the Rolls Royce and all that crazy stuff. But if you are a Yasharelite, which means you are a bloodline descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Yasharal, or who y'all may know as Israel, you know that we have always been wealthy spiritually because of our covenant with Abba Yah, right? But what happens is, when we get into things like sin, that is what causes drama and things like poverty when you get into sin, right? But when you stay in good standing, you are wealthy no matter what circumstances you are in life. I'll give you an example of my forefather, Joseph, right? Coat of many colors. That's why I love color. It is what it is, right? And I'll tell you in another video how you find out which tribe you're from. You're not gonna find out what tribe you're from those bogus charts, okay? Those bogus charts cannot tell you what tribe you're from. The person that can tell you what tribe you're from is Abba Yah. And typically, your life, I'm gonna tell you just a little something. You look at your life circumstances. The number one way to know is like, okay, Abba Yah reveals to you that you are a Yasharelite, and it will be revealed to you, and it'll be a clear sign to you. Is not no mistake with it, and he'll give you the confirmation and historical evidence and all that good stuff to back it up to you. Then he'll kind of reveal, like, when you start looking at things that you're going through in your life, like prime example, me in my life, always been the one that's very kind to others, dreamer, yet the anointing has people hate on me hard. It's like, literally, some people, because I believe those people are from my tribe, they're Ephraimites, they could give compliments, but I could always tell when somebody is from those other tribes as a Yasharelite, when they meet me and they automatically want to start beefing. I could tell it's like Judah. I could tell it's those other types of tribes. when they want to do that. Because if you go back, like certain stuff that you go through, like, right, like even though people are disloyal to you and you still want to, like, you know, be honorful and not betray them, that's a trait of Joseph. You know what I'm saying? So you look at stuff that happens in your life, like if you have an issue with idolatry but you're a good praise minister, or you might be Judah, you know what I'm saying? So you look at stuff that happens, because nothing new happens under the sun. Like things that are family issues travel through family. So that's one of those are some of the ways that you can kind of identify. Yeah, but back to what we were talking about. So virtuous women, we're not impressed by material possessions. You know that our family lineage, it comes from wealth. That man should be able to call up to heaven and get stuff to shake. If he can't get stuff to shake, calling up to heaven, then no, we can't be with nobody that don't have no power. Because the power, he should be able to have a power source that is connected him to Yah to get some stuff to shake in life. If he's always somewhere stressed out and can't make nothing shake, and he don't have a prayer life, and he can't make stuff shake with his prayer life either, no, and no. The leadership skills is not there. Virtuous women are looking for leaders. Every man is not a leader, and they do not possess leadership ability. I'm just going to say that. Like, some people are natural born leaders because that's probably a role that Abba Yah has put in them. Like they have that sort of and not people that self-appoint. I'm talking about, you can tell people that are natural born leaders, like they just come into a whatever situation and they take authority over the area, right? Are they like, oh no, we ain't gonna have this lawlessness going on like this here, we gonna get this together. No, we can't have this going on. And they're gonna speak up for things like righteousness. They're gonna speak up. They're not gonna allow lawlessness to sit comfortably around them. So that's another thing that attracts virtuous women to righteous men. Did I miss anything? Oh, okay. So one turnoff that I see some Yasharelite men doing is they'll mention other like Yasharelite women to other women that they're interested in, because they, in their mind, they want to mold that woman, that virtuous woman, into that woman, not realizing that no, there were different matriarchs that had different missions in the Torah. That means it's a different woman that was made for a different type of man. So if that woman does not fit for you, then Abba Yah has appointed her to be with that man that he has for her. Like, just understand, every woman that you meet is not going to be your wife. The same with women. Every man that you meet is not going to be your husband. So I noticed like a lot of Yasharelite men, they do, it's weirdo. It's like, and a lot of these women, like on social media, some of them, they'll already have like, you know, a man, a covering, a headship. And you know, I know that there's it's a need, like men want to get married, they want a virtuous woman because of all of this stuff that's going on in the world. Trust and believe, I know. But sitting there trying to, if a woman is single and a virtuous woman, trying to send a woman other videos of another woman, number one, you are violating Torah because it's coveting. Because that woman belongs to another man. That woman was made for that man. And he has, with his authority that was given to him by, you know, the Most High Yah, he has what he has going on the way that he has going on, and that woman is responding to his leadership in those feminine, soft, submissive ways. So there's different women with different personalities, like I said, different missions that Abba Yah has them on, right? Abigail had her mission, Rahiel had her mission, Leah had her role, Judith had her role, Sarah had her role, and they all had different personalities. Okay, Rebecca had her role, all had different personalities. So it's just like, don't look at sisters and you seeing like all sisters are supposed to be this monolith, or all one, oh, this is what it means to be. The baseline is that a virtuous woman is submitted to the Most High, because in that way she's going to be able to be submitted to her husband properly. She's going to be able to be modest and feminine and all of the attributes. And don't, you know, even though a woman is the weaker vessel, women are very powerful in their role that they have in the kingdom. Okay, they're very powerful, which a lot of men, they want to, like I said, a lot of them, they're overbearing, and they don't get their blessings because they don't do right by their wives. Think it's a game. You can read the Torah for yourself. How many men are not really living and getting the blessings that they should get because they're not doing right by their wives? That's a whole different video. But yeah, those are some of the ways and some of the things that attract virtuous women to righteous men. That's it for the video, y'all. I will see y'all soon on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Shalom.